All right, so let me clarify, because I just said this with Aaron, right? When the stock market is down the first half of September, the second half is down as well almost all the time. In fact, since 1983, the second half has been down 12 of 13 times. And last year was down more than 8%. So it's a pretty ominous situation because, of course, the first half of this September was down. The question is, how do we navigate through these turbulent waters? I'm going to bring in Fitz-Gerald Group Principal Keith Fitz-Gerald. Keith, essentially, is it time to sell, buy, or consider or hold? What do we do here?
Well, this is where you break out the magic 8-ball and you shake it and you see what comes up. But all joking aside, Charles, this is the kind of stuff that makes you money as an investor. It's just not apparent until you get through it and you're looking at it in the rear view mirror. Great companies get put on sale when everybody else gets scared out of the water.
I thought you were going to say it was a bad time to give up sniffing glue, but okay, I'll break out the giant 8-ball instead. Now, with that in mind, I want to talk to you about some what's happening as an economic backdrop. This UAW strike. Everyone's looking at the potential impact on the economy. But last week, Tesla was the #1 percentage gainer in the entire S&P 500. And I think you see it going higher, right?
I do. I see it going a lot higher. This situation with the UAW is tremendously unfortunate because every conventional car maker makes money on old-fashioned metal clunkers, piston clankers, but they don't make money on EVs. So going on strike, they're cutting their own nose off to spite their face. Tesla, on the other hand, doesn't have that problem, doesn't have the legacy cost, and in fact sells more EVs. So this is a win for Tesla, even though the UAW is taking it out on the big three.
Honestly, man, I think this is the last chance the UAW has to get a nice pay raise. I think 4 or 5 years from now, they're not going to have a shot. So I don't blame them for trying right now. Let's talk about President Biden here because he's in town. Traffic was a nightmare yesterday. But besides that, he was at the UN today, and he's pushing war. He really is, he's kind of pushing the war narrative. And I know that fits pretty nicely with your portfolio, right?
Well, unfortunately, war is a growth industry right now, and companies like General Dynamics, for example, are a play. So if you look at this, we are critically short on 155 millimeter shells, both armament directed basis, and apparently, according to studies, we've got less than a week's supply if there's a conflict in the Taiwan Straits, for example, because we sent so many munitions over to the Ukraine. So I think between that and intelligence gathering and data services and other forms of weaponry, a company like General Dynamics, which is a steady Eddie, a strong performer over time, is unfortunately a great investment at this point as well.
Keith, obviously tomorrow, 99% chance the Fed doesn't adjust rates, but they're going to do a lot of other things. They'll update the so-called dot plot and other things. What are you anticipating? What will the message that you think Powell and company will telegraph to us, and how should we be prepared for it?
Well, I actually, funny enough, think the Fed is going to be dumb enough to raise rates, even though an overwhelming amount of evidence suggests they shouldn't. So, I don't buy the 99% thing. But as far as how investors prepare, if the rates are going to go higher, then you want steady eddies in the portfolio, like the General Dynamics we just talked about. If the rates are going to go lower, then you want to have the big growth in your portfolio. Either way, what you want to do here, Charles, is take a deep breath. Don't get scared out of the water because great companies never go out of style no matter what the Fed does.
All right. That's great words of wisdom, my friend. Thank you so much, Keith.
Thank you, Charles. Hi, it's Keith here. Thanks for checking out today's highlight clip. What'd you think? Did I make sense? Is there something you'd like to add? Make sure you leave a comment down below. And of course, click subscribe to keep up right here on YouTube, or sign up for the email newsletter at the link below. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram for my real-time thoughts on markets, analysis, and a whole lot more.